news stories for me? Maybe let's do a little news for the folks, man. Let's tell them what's going on around the world. God knows you're not home to find out. Thank you, Walter. Let's do it. I just want to keep you up to date. There's a few things that have happened while we've been sitting here, and it's not nice to ignore the rest of the world. Let's take a look. Like to take a look at the news. First of all, the headlines. 3 Shriners have been killed in a whoopee cushion explosion. 21 killed in 21-gun salute. Rapist swallows whistle. Oh, the head of the lost and found has been reported missing. And a vegetarian has been beaten to death by a meat packer. Some things. Have I been ignoring your section? I'm really sorry. Well, we'll be okay, though, because, I just can't think of everything. But I'm going to do about 10 straight stories just for these folks here. Back into the news. Police fired over the heads of rioters today. However, they killed 200 people standing on a balcony. A 107-year-old woman in Florida is reported to be pregnant. Physicians claim that because of her advanced age, she will have a grown-up. Scientists have discovered a new disease which has no symptoms. It is impossible to detect, and there's no known cure. Fortunately, no cases have been reported thus far. A man has barricaded himself inside of his house. However, he is not armed, and no one is paying any attention to him. The Surgeon General announced today that saliva causes stomach cancer. However, only when swallowed in small amounts over a long period of time. A woman was severely injured today when she attempted to force breastfeed a wildcat. And the results of the latest Gallup poll have come in. It seems that 29% of the people were not home. 14% of the people made believe they weren't home. 6% of the people could not operate the doorknob. And 3% were wearing underwear and had to stand sideways. The Bureau of Indian Affairs announced today that they have found another Mohican. Accordingly, all the books are being called back in and will be changed to read the next to the last of the Mohicans. In France today, a baby was born wearing glasses and holding a quaalude. A high-speed chase ended today when the cars stopped and the people got out. A dog exploded on a busy downtown street corner. Today, no one was killed. However, 12 people were overcome by fur. Police estimate that 50 to 60 fleas also lost their lives in the blast. Scientists in Switzerland announced today that they have been able to make mice fart by holding them upside down and tapping them on the stomach with a pencil. A Milwaukee man has been arrested for attempting to use food stamps to mail a box of macaroni. Earthquake. An earthquake has hit the maternity home. Maternity home. There's no such place as a maternity home. An earthquake has struck the maternity hospital. 3 people were killed. However, 6 people were born. A priest who has performed 300 exorcisms was eaten today by a green boogeyman. Out at the lake in City Park today, police arrested a one-armed man who was bothering the other boaters by continuously rowing in a circle. A man at a tool and die company died today when he was hit with a tool. A severely disturbed geography teacher has been arrested after killing 6 people who did not know the capital of Scotland. A man in Detroit is suing a soup company, claiming that a bowl of alphabet soup spelled out an obscene message to his wife. A heavily armed man in Seattle has taken 6 hostages. He's demanding $3 million and someone to share driving and expenses to St. Louis. Police today announced they have broken up an amphetamine ring. Narcotics detectives broke in and arrested 6 out of 10 of the speed dealers they had under suspicion. The other 4 got away by running completely across Canada. A man who was shot in the chest 9 times yesterday and refused treatment died today of 9 shots in the chest. A man in Cincinnati is suing a hospital, claiming he entered the hospital for a vasectomy and was castrated instead. When the chief surgeon was asked how such a mistake might happen, he said, well, it all started out as a joke. We were pretending we were going to castrate him, and he got real snotty, so we offed his balls. The man himself was philosophical about it. He said, well, it's just that much less to wash. Tragedy struck the parade today as an open manhole claimed the lives of 1,200 marchers one at a time. A man who shot and killed all 12 members of a jury which convicted him last year goes on trial again today. A set of Siamese twins, which was surgically separated 6 months ago, was sewn back together again today because each of them only knows 1/2 of the combination to their locker. A man who was scared. This is kind of one where you're going to moan, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, good. A little pre-moaning. That's nice. That ain't a moan. Visine, do they look that red? Would you hold that for me? Oh, God. Hey, now I need it. Now I need it. It's like starting a fire for the charcoal burner, you know? You gotta... God. Well, that's going to be nice. That'll really... Well, anyway, would you hold them both for me? This one now, you're under arrest. Here comes the Weizen, as we say in the middle east part of Europe. Well, there ain't much of this left, but there is one final story that I would like to wind up with, folks. And I do thank you for that Visine, but I didn't smoke at halftime, so if they're red, it's just natural eyeball blood pressure. Or whatever you call that shit. The one you were going to moan about, I was going to tell about a man who was scheduled for a heart transplant who decided not to have it. He had a change of heart, you know. I love that shit. That's why, I know why you're moaning, because you wish you had thought of the goddamn thing yourself. I have to think that. Like to wind up the news tonight with sort of a little story, kind of a human interest story about man's best friend. It seems that 65-year-old James Driscoll was asleep in his downtown hotel room last Wednesday when he was awakened by the sound of a dog barking.
A little place to put your stuff during the day, during the evening, whatever it is, don't you? Sure. Everybody's got to have a little place for their stuff. That's all life is about. That's the meaning of life. Trying to find a place to keep your stuff. That's all your house is. Think of it. That's all your house is. It's a place to keep your stuff. If you didn't have so much goddamn stuff, you wouldn't need a house. You could just walk around all the time. That's all your house is. It's a pile of stuff with a cover on it. That's all your house is. It's a place to keep your stuff while you go out and get more stuff. Sometimes you gotta move. Sometimes you gotta move. You gotta get a bigger house. Why? Too much stuff. Now, sometimes you go on vacation. You gotta bring some of your stuff with you. Can't take all your stuff. Just the stuff you really like. The stuff that fits you good that month. You gotta take a smaller version of your stuff. Say you're gonna go to Honolulu for 2 weeks. 2 weeks in Honolulu, you gotta take 2 big bags of stuff. You get to Honolulu, you fly halfway across an ocean. You get to Honolulu, get in the hotel room, and you put away your stuff. That's the first thing you do in a hotel room is put away your stuff. I'll put some stuff here, and I'll put some stuff there. You put your stuff over there, I'll put my stuff over here. Here's another place, put some stuff here. Here's another place over here. Hey, we got more places than we got stuff. We're gonna have to buy more stuff. But you put your stuff away, and you know that you're a long way from home, and you don't quite feel 100% at home, but you know that you must be okay, because you do have some of your stuff with you. And you begin to relax, you know, feel okay. That's when your friend from Maui calls up. Says, hey, why don't you come over to Maui for the weekend? Spend a couple of nights over here. Oh, shit. Now what do I bring? Can't bring all this stuff. Right, you've got to bring an even smaller version of your stuff. Just enough stuff for a weekend on Maui. And you go over to Maui, and you're really spread out. Now, you've got shit all over the world. You got stuff in the mainland, stuff in Honolulu, you got stuff with you. Supply lines are getting longer and harder to maintain. But you get over there to Maui, and they give you a little place to sleep, you know. Little windowsill, and you put your stuff, because you don't have much stuff now, on the windowsill. You put your favorite stuff. Your jumbo-sized Visine, your trim nail clippers, your odor eater's 45-day guarantee, and your Afrin 12-hour decongestant nasal spray. And you begin to relax, you know. That's when your friend says, hey, I think tonight we'll go over the other side of the island, visit my friend, maybe stay over. Oh, shit. No! What do you bring? Well, now you just bring the things you know you're gonna need.
I always hope that no matter how small the original problem is, it's going to grow into bigger and bigger proportions that get completely out of control, and I'll give you a concrete example. Let's say a water main breaks in downtown Los Angeles and it floods an electrical substation, knocking out all the traffic lights and tying up the entire city, and emergency vehicles can't get through. And at the same time, one of those month-long global warming heat waves comes along, but there's no air conditioning, there's no water for sanitation, so cholera, smallpox, and dysentery break out, and thousands of people start dying in the streets. But before they die, parasites eat their brains. And they go completely fucking crazy and they storm the hospital. But the hospital can't handle all the casualties. So these people rape all the nurses and set the hospital on fire. And the flames drive them even crazier. So they start stabbing social workers and garbage men. And a big wind comes along and the entire city goes up in flames. And the people who are still healthy, they get mad at the sick people and they start crucifying them, nailing them to crosses, trying on their underwear, shit like that. Then everybody smokes crack and PCP and they march on City Hall where they burn the mayor at the stake, strangle his wife, and take turns sodomizing the statue of Larry Flint. And at this point, it looks like pretty soon things are going to start to get out of control. So everybody panics and tries to leave the city at the same time. And they trample each other to death in the streets by the thousands. And wild dogs eat their corpses. And the wild dogs chase the rest of the people down the highway. And one by one, the dogs pick off the old fucks and the slow people because they're in the fast lane where they don't belong. Get the fuck out of the fast lane if you're an old fuck, if you're a slow fuck. Get over on the right. Get over on the right. And the lucky ones, the lucky people who manage to make it all the way outside of town, they discover when they get there that big sparks from the city have lit the suburbs on fire. And the suburbs burn uncontrollably. And thousands of identical homes have identical fires with identical smoke. Killing all the identical soccer moms and their identical kids named Jason and Jennifer. And now the fire spreads to the farmlands, and the farmlands burn intensely at 425 degrees, creating millions of baked potatoes. And as the farmlands burn, thousands of barns and farmhouses begin to explode from all the hidden methamphetamine labs. And the meth chemicals run downhill into the rivers and streams where wild animals drink the water and get completely geeked on speed. So bears and wolves, amped up on crank, start roaming the countryside looking for people to eat, even though they're not really hungry. And the fire spreads to the forest, and the forests burn furiously, and hundreds of elves and trolls and fairies come running out of the woods screaming, Bambi is dead! Bambi is dead! And he is. Finally, that fucking little cunt, Bambi, is dead. Dead. Now hundreds of regional fires come together into one huge interstate inferno, and all 12 of the western United States are burning out of control, except Utah, where the Mormons don't allow fires. And the fire spreads across the Great Plains, toasting the wheat, cooking the cattle, and producing hamburgers, actually. Then it leaps the Mississippi and races through the South, blowing up stills, interrupting lynchings, and killing millions of inbred people. And then it turns northeast and it heads for Washington, D.C., where George Bush can't decide if it's an emergency or not. He can't decide this. He doesn't know. It's hard. Oh, it's hard work. You know? No. Yeah, he can't decide because Dick Cheney is in prison. So instead, he takes a nap. He puts his empty, fucking brainless head down on the little pillow his mother gave him at Christmas time, and he takes a fucking nap. So the fire moves to Philadelphia, but it's a weekend, and Philadelphia's closed on the weekends. So the fire moves to New York City, and the people in New York tell the fire to go fuck itself. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. And it does. Yeah. And it does. So instead it burns down Long Island and Connecticut, killing all the rich white assholes and completely destroying their evil faggoty golf courses. And while all this is going on, Canada burns to the ground, but nobody notices. And now the entire North American continent is on fire, producing a huge thermal updraft and creating an incendiary cyclonic macro system that forms a hemispheric megastorm, breaking down the molecular structure of the atmosphere and actually changing the laws of nature. Fire and water combine, burning clouds of flaming rain fall upward, gamma rays and solar winds ignite the ionosphere, creating huge clouds of ionized plasma. Bolts of lightning 20 million miles long begin shooting out of the North Pole, and the sky fills up with green shit. And then suddenly, the entire fabric of space-time splits in two. A huge crack in the universe opens, and all the dead people from the past begin falling through. Babe Ruth, Groucho Marx, Davy Crockett, Tiny Tim, Porky Pig, Hitler, Janis Joplin, Alan Ludden, my Uncle Dave, your Uncle Dave. Everybody's Uncle Dave. An endless stream of dead Uncle Daves falling through the crack. And all the dead Uncle Daves gather around a heavenly kitchen table. They light up cigarettes and they begin to talk. They talk about how they never got a break, how their parents didn't love them and their children were ungrateful. They talk about how the government screwed them out of money and they just missed out on a big job. They say the Jews own everything and the blacks get special treatment. And all the hatred and bitterness drips out of these people and forms a big pool of liquid hate. And the pool of liquid hate begins to spin. Round and round it spins, faster and faster. And the faster it spins, the bigger it gets. Faster and faster, bigger and bigger, until the whirling pool of hate is bigger than the entire universe. And then suddenly it explodes into trillions of tiny stars. And every star has a trillion planets. And every planet has a trillion Uncle Daves. And all the Uncle Daves have good jobs, perfect eyesight, and shoes that fit. They have great sex lives and free health care. They understand the internet. Their kids think they're cool, and they all love their neighbors. And every week, without fail, Uncle Dave wins the lottery. Forever and ever, till the end of time, every single Uncle Dave has a winning ticket. And Uncle Dave is finally happy. Now do you see why I like it when nature gets even with humans? Thanks for coming in here tonight. Thank you. See you later.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. My name is George Carlin, and I am a professional comedian, as opposed to the kind you run into at work all day long. It's nice being a comedian. There are certain advantages, naturally, and a few disadvantages. There are some drawbacks to being a comedian. No one on death row has ever said, "Before I die, I want to talk to a comedian." You ever hear anyone at the scene of an accident say, "Quick, call a comedian, for God's sakes!" But it would be kind of fun at an accident to push your way through the crowd and say, "May I be of help? I'm a professional comedian." And sooner or later, at least once in your life, when the policeman says to you, "What are you, a comedian?" You've got to look him right in the eye and say, "Actually, yes." Even the criminals have no respect for comedians. What do they say first thing they do when they hold you up? "Don't try anything funny." First one makes a funny move, gets it. Whenever they're not looking, I go, "Well, that's my job, thinking up goofy shit." Thinking up goofy shit, coming around every now and then, letting you know what it is, or reminding you of things you already know, but forgot to laugh at the first time they happened. We all have things like that. You hear it during the day, and then you don't remember it at all. For instance, I've noticed they have disposable douche, and I'm wondering who would want to keep it in the first place? I do have a lot, not a lot, but I have some notes over here. And the reason for that is I haven't been doing this lately. I want to make sure I know and remember everything tonight. I've been taking a little time off. I get about 6 months, I think. I took 3 of them quite voluntarily, and the other 3 quite against my will. I had a heart attack, or as they say in Boston, I had a hat attack. He had a hat attack. You hear about George? He had a goddamn myocardial infarction. I had a hat attack. Fortunately, my pharmacist, my cardiologist, and my doctor give me CPR. But I would like to bring you up to date on the Comedians Health Sweepstakes. As it stands right now, I lead Richard Pryor in heart attacks 2-1. I am ahead. That's right. Now, however, Richard still leads me 1-0 on burning yourself up.
More item for you, the last in our civics book, rights. Boy, everyone in this country is always running around yammering about their fucking rights. I have a right, you have no right, we have a right, they don't have a right. Folks, I hate to spoil your fun, but there's no such thing as rights, okay? They're imaginary. We made them up, like the Boogeyman. The Three Little Pigs, Pinocchio, Mother Goose, shit like that. Rights are an idea. They're just imaginary. They're a cute idea. Cute. But that's all. Cute and fictional. But if you think you do have rights, let me ask you this. Where do they come from? People say, well, they come from God. They're God-given rights. Oh, fuck. Here we go again. Here we go again. The God excuse. The last refuge of a man with no answers and no argument. It came from God. Anything we can't describe must have come from God. Personally, folks, I believe that if your rights came from God, He would have given you the right to some food every day, and He would have given you the right to a roof over your head. God would have been looking out for you. God would have been looking out for you. You know that? He wouldn't have been worried about making sure you have a gun so you get drunk on Sunday night and kill your girlfriend's parents. But let's say it's true. Let's say God gave us these rights. Why would He give us a certain number of rights? The Bill of Rights in this country has 10 stipulations, okay? 10 rights. And apparently God was doing sloppy work that week because we've had to amend the Bill of Rights an additional 17 times. So God forgot a couple of things, like slavery. Just fucking slipped his mind. But let's say God gave us the original 10. He gave the British 13. The British Bill of Rights has 13 stipulations. The Germans have 29. The Belgians have 25. The Swedish have only 6. And some people in the world have no rights at all. What kind of a fucking goddamn God-given deal is that? No rights at all? Why would God give different people in different countries different numbers of different rights? Boredom? Amusement? Bad arithmetic? Do we find out at long last, after all this time, that God is weak in math skills? Doesn't sound like divine planning to me. Sounds more like human planning. Sounds more like one group trying to control another group. In other words, business as usual in America. Now, if you think you do have rights, one last assignment for you. Next time you're at the computer, get on the internet, go to Wikipedia. When you get to Wikipedia, in the search field for Wikipedia, I want you to type in Japanese Americans 1942, and you'll find out all about your precious fucking rights, okay? All right. You know about it. You know about it. Yeah. In 1942, there were 110,000 Japanese American citizens and good-standing, law-abiding people who were thrown into internment camps simply because their parents were born in the wrong country. That's all they did wrong. They had no right to a lawyer, no right to a fair trial, no right to a jury of their peers, no right to due process of any kind. The only right they had, right this way, into the internment camps. Just when these American citizens needed their rights the most, their government took them away. And rights aren't rights if someone can take them away. They're privileges. That's all we've ever had in this country is a bill of temporary privileges. And if you read the news even badly, you know that every year the list gets shorter and shorter and shorter. You see how sooner or later? Yeah. Sooner or later, the people in this country are going to realize the government does not give a fuck about them. Government doesn't care about you or your children or your rights or your welfare or your safety. It simply doesn't give a fuck about you. It's interested in its own power. That's the only thing, keeping it and expanding it wherever possible. Personally, when it comes to rights, I think one of two things is true. I think either we have unlimited rights or we have no rights at all. Personally, I lean toward unlimited rights. I feel, for instance, I have the right to do anything I please. But if I do something you don't like, I think you have the right to kill me. So where are you going to find a fairer fucking deal than that? So the next time some asshole says, gee, I have a right...